Hello and welcome guys. Today I am going to be going through my top 10 favorite legendary Pokemon. But please do keep in mind that these are my personal favorite Pokemon, legendary Pokemon. If your favorites did not appear on the list, then please let me know in the comments below and I can tell you what I think of them. So without further ado, let's dive headfirst into number 10. Coming in at the number 10 spot today, we have one of the legendary birds, Zapdos. This beast of an electric and flying type Pokemon is an absolute monster in both the anime and the games. Zapdos' Pokédex entry from Pokemon Heart Gold states as follows. This legendary bird Pokemon causes savage thunderstorms by flapping its glittering wings. And whenever I read that, it pretty much gives me goosebumps. As come on, think about it. A bird going across the sky, causing thunderstorms with glitter coming off of its wings. What is there not to like about this Pokemon? Like, a lot of people do not like this Pokemon. I do not know why. Like, look at it. The design is perfect, especially for its name as well. And when it comes to battle, it does have the ability called Lightning Rod, which for anyone who doesn't know, it draws in all electric type moves, and instead of being hit by them, what it does is it boosts his special attack. And that's pretty much the only things I have to say about this Pokemon. I absolutely adore it. So let's move on to number 9. For the number 9 spot, we have one of the legendary beasts. Entei is a pure fire type, which happens to be my personal favorite typing, seeing as I love Vulpix. But I do like both versions of Vulpix. Anyways, just by looking at this guy, you know he means business. Like, look, he has like chains on his feet, he has a cloud for a back. He just looks amazing. Entei is such an epic Pokemon that it even had an entire movie dedicated to it. If you haven't seen it already, just type in Pokemon 3, the movie, and then boom, there we go. You see Entei in all of his glory. Plus, its appearance in the latest Pokemon movie, I Choose You, does show us its more relaxed and friendly nature, which is pretty darn sweet. It shows an entirely different side to a legendary Pokemon from like other movies. Like, without giving spoilers, Entei in the third Pokemon movie, he's not a nice guy. Anyways, a bonus about Entei is that its shiny form does look absolutely amazing. What it does is it changes its coloring, like you see the red and the yellow on its face, it changes all of that. It looks amazing. Go onto Google, type it in, and have a look at this guy. Anyways, next up is number 8. For number 8, we have Darkrai, a pure dark type Pokemon. Once again, we have yet another Pokemon which has had an entire movie dedicated to it. Please go and watch the movie, it's absolutely amazing. It just shows off this Pokemon perfectly. Something different about this Pokemon, however, is that in the anime, a trainer by the name of Tobias actually owned a Darkrai and fought against Ash in the Sinnoh League semi-finals, basically taking out all of Ash's Pokemon apart from his Sceptile, which did finally take out Darkrai. Like, Ash's Sceptile is very strong, but to take out a legendary Pokemon, it's got to be definitely strong. The design of Darkrai is yet another amazing one from the creators. It looks amazing, it looks super evil, and you can definitely tell that the creators take care and really put in time into designing a legendary Pokemon. Coming next is number 7. Coming in at the number 7 spot today, we have the Onion Pokemon, also known as Celebi. This little bundle of joy was originally revealed way back in Generation 2, and in the video games, the only way of obtaining Celebi was through events, and the first time that you were actually able to get Celebi was way back in Pokemon Crystal. However, you did need a special Pokeball called the GS ball, which nowadays is extremely hard to come across unless you like modify your game cartridge. It's up to people if they want to modify their game cartridge, but if you are looking to get yourself a Celebi, you can pretty much find them all over Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. Believe it or not, I've seen many people with Celebi and its shiny form. So yeah, it is hacked. However, it looks really cool. And for anyone who doesn't know what its shiny color is, it pretty much turns it pink. Looking at the design of Celebi, it instantly makes me think a flying onion with eyes. It really does make you wonder where they got the idea from. It's cute as anything and it's an absolutely genius idea. Like, who would think to look at an onion and say, I can make a Pokemon out of that? Anyways, number 6 coming next. For number 6, we have Kyogre, a titan of the oceans. And a cool thing about Kyogre is that it does have another form, being Primal Kyogre. Primal Kyogre, which was introduced in Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, so quite a few years after its original form was introduced way back in Generation 3. The Pokedex entry from Alpha Sapphire, which stands out above all of the rest in my personal opinion, states, Kyogre is said to be a personification of the sea itself. Legends tell of its many clashes against Groudon, and each sought to gain the power of nature. And speaking of Groudon, next up is number 5. Number 5 today is Groudon, a volcanic monster. Like Kyogre, Groudon also has another form being Primal Groudon, which is right there on the screen for you guys now. I forgot to mention while talking about Kyogre's primal form is that both of these forms look absolutely incredible. They completely change the look of both Pokemon, but in a way that both of them look even more badass than the original forms. Primal Groudon, like Primal Kyogre, was introduced in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And my favorite thing about Groudon is obviously the typing. And for anyone who does know me, the fire typing has been my favorite for absolutely years. Hence why Vulpix is my channel mascot. When I first saw the reveal of Groudon back in Generation 3, I did think to myself at the time, if it's not a fire type, it will break my heart as I love this thing. Groudon isn't higher on the list simply because I love the next 4 Pokemon way, way, way more. And talking about them, next up is number 4. For number 4 today, we have another one of the legendary beasts, this time being Suicune. Suicune has always been one of my favourites and will remain so for an extremely long time. Suicune's design is what made me fall in love with it in the first place, because it simply looks graceful and elegant, but could freeze you at any time. And I am fully aware that this Pokemon is a water type, but it can learn ice type moves. Suicune was revealed back in Generation 2 alongside Entei and Raikou, the other legendary beasts which were also resurrected by Ho-Oh after the burning of the Brass Tower. The Pokedex entry from Alpha Sapphire says, Suicune embodies the compassion of a pure spring of water. It runs across the land with gracefulness. This Pokemon has the power to purify water. Oh boy, what a great Pokemon. Coming next is number 3. Okay, now it's time to dive into the top 3, and at the number 3 spot we have none other than Articuno. Revealed in Generation 1, Articuno is one part of the 3 legendary birds, the others being Zapdos and Moltres. Articuno has always had a place in my heart, ever since I first saw it, and it's going to be there forever. Like, just looking at this bird, like, the design is phenomenal as well as very appealing. Like, for anyone who is a fan of bird Pokemon, you really should have one of these on your team. Just like Darkrai, in the anime, a trainer had an Articuno which fought against Ash and his Charizard, and seeing as everyone knows that Ash's Charizard is ridiculously overpowered, it did defeat the Articuno. However, it was quite a close match. The best Pokédex entry says Articuno is a legendary bird Pokemon that can control ice. The flapping of its wings chills the air, and as a result, it is said that when this Pokemon flies, snow will fall. So if it snows anywhere near you guys soon, simply blame Articuno. Next is number 2. Okay, in the number 2 spot we have the heart of the ocean, none other than Lugia. Lugia is a psychic and flying type Pokemon which was revealed back in Generation 2 in Pokemon Silver. With its psychic powers, Lugia is able to communicate with humans, and this was shown in the Pokemon movie, Pokemon 2000, The Power of One, when Lugia would speak to Ash. Lugia did nearly make the number 1 spot, but there is one other legendary Pokemon that barely beats it. The design for Lugia is by far among my favourites. It's simple, interesting, and fits extremely well. Also, the plates that run down its back fold down to increase its speed, which is pretty darn cool, if you ask me. My favourite Pokédex entry for Lugia says, Lugia is so powerful that even a light fluttering of its wings can blow apart houses. As a result, it chooses to live out of sight deep under the sea. The reason why this is my favourite entry is because it just shows how strong Lugia is. It also looks like we have not seen the last of Lugia either, as it is set to play a major role in the upcoming 21st Pokemon movie, Everyone's Story. So keep your eyes peeled. And finally, we have reached number 1 in today's list. Jirachi is my personal favourite legendary for one simple reason. It is absolutely adorable. Nah, I'm just kidding. As well as being an extremely cute Pokemon, Jirachi is also extremely helpful as when it's sleeping, if you write a wish on the notes attached to its head, that when it awakens it will grant your wish. So, adorable and helpful. In the video games, there are a few ways to obtain Jirachi. One way is to use the bonus disc from Pokemon Colosseum. However, nowadays it is almost impossible to come across one of these unless you want to spend some money. The cheapest that I've seen one of these sell for is roughly $120, which is roughly around like 107 UK pounds. Another way to get a Jirachi is to simply play either Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, or Soul Silver, and you need to go to an area called Powell Park. However, to get into this place, you will have to have seen every Pokemon in the Sinnoh Pokédex and obtained every Pokemon in the National Pokédex. So it is quite time consuming. Completely worth it though, as I absolutely love this guy. And that, my friends, concludes today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you next time.